Hi. So today I thought I'll share one of the techniques I'm using to get rid of the entities, and specifically, like if you're having bad thoughts, if you're constantly thinking, worrying, not feeling good, maybe feeling exhausted and drained, or some people have this whole bipolar disorder, schizophrenia, and just shifting like their personalities are constantly just becoming different and all that. So if you have some of these things, I want to cover and just sort of give you tools to get rid of it. To make it quick and simple, and like first, like I'll just give a quick and simple for those that don't want to stay and listen to me ramble and all this stuff, but those that want more details I will talk about it later. So basically, if you spot an entity in your space, where it is a thought form or emotional form, what you do is like, okay, try to locate it. Is it within your body? Is it behind you? Is it like a cloud that's surrounding you? Once you notice that the entity cluster is somewhere near you or within, you try to spot who exactly it is. Once you give them a label, what you do is like you take the entity cluster, just sort of like visualize them or give them an intention to grab this entity cluster and put them in the box. Like right in front of you, there is this box, and you put the entity in the box. And what you do is like you detach them from yourself, you detach them from your surroundings, and within the box, you cut the top and bottom, just like cut it off, the sides, the sides. So you basically slice off every possible connection. And now that whole box with the entities is being cut off from you, the whole box, you can sort of imagine galactic vacuum, giving for the bigger guys to be transmuted, and basically these entities will be taken away from you and they will be rethought so that they will learn their lessons and they will get better and you will be free of them. That's it. For those that want more details, let's go. Okay, so like when it comes to entities and how do we spot them, usually they appear as thought forms. And a lot of times we can't tell the difference between them and ourselves because we identify ourselves with them and them with ourselves. And usually we can't tell, like, like, is it me thinking that? Or is it like just like coming out of someone else? Normally, the usual state is people don't think, people don't worry. We're simply aware, we know, we act. The whole thinking process is now tons of entities. Basically, because you're like more of a body and you have this emotional body within, this emotional body will also attract the likes. So let's say if you're doing good in life, you'll be great, but at the same time you might be targeted. Or maybe you had a harsh day and you're feeling pissed off, maybe you're feeling disappointed, maybe you're feeling sad, maybe you're worried, concerned. A lot of things might happen. When that happens, when you're feeling down, when you're not feeling so good, when there's this sort of feeling state is like a bit iffy and you don't feel so good, that will attract alike entities. Entities alike who will have similar emotions, similar thoughts, and when they come to you, they'll be thinking just like you, but a bit hyped up, a bit sort of on steroids. And if you're sort of like having a bad day, these entities will make sure that your day sucks, that you hate life, that you don't want to live anymore now. And so like, you might like have a person you like and admire, and all of a sudden you're gonna be hit with like, what if they don't like me? What if I'm not good enough? And all of a sudden, self issues or issues with relationships or issues with other people, we can have tons of entities. And that goes for well us and people around us. So entities can jump from other people to us, from us to them, and we're constantly exchanging them because of how we feel in relation and this whole sort of like attracting them because we're like magnets. And so with these entities, if you notice them, like if you're thinking or feeling not too good, if you're kind of negative with life sucks, I don't want to live anymore, I don't feel so good, worries, concerns, depression, all of these issues, that is a sign that you have someone in your space that's not so good for you. When it happens, you have to locate them. And the thing is, we have a lot of entity clusters. So having a lot of them means that you have to be specific, know who they are, give them labels, and sort of keep them all in their own yards. Which means if there is an entity cluster that's feeling kind of aggressive, it might come out as a bit rageful, a bit going berserk, a bit aggressive, and you might be pissed off sometimes. So that's like the entity cluster in itself. But then there's various concerns and fears. And you might sort of like worry about life. Like, what if this happens? What if that happens? What if da 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 da? And constant worries, concerns, and things will throw you off. But the thing is, when these entities are in your space, they will amplify your thoughts and feelings, and you will find it really hard to get rid of it. You will find it really hard to let go of that thinking, and you'll be so consumed by it that you're like, damn, like what's going on? So when that happens, you have to put a label on them. And how you put it is like, simply watch yourself. What are you thinking? How do you feel? Where do you feel this whole thing? You might be pissed off at some people who don't understand you, who don't appreciate you, who are pushing their agenda on you, or, like life happens. What I say might not relate to you because you might be talking and feeling completely different issues, and that is okay. But just try to apply this material to yourself if you can. So let's literally maybe you're having a hard time finding a job. Maybe you have a hard time getting money. Maybe with the relationships, you're like, damn, I want someone in my life, but they just all ignore me, or they don't see me, and just I just can't get it or anything. It's so different issues, different feelings, and all this stuff. When that happens, okay, so we have to be specific. And so with this feeling state, is it worry? Is it concern? Is it depression? Is it feeling like you're not good enough, like nothing's happening, like you're stuck? You have to identify specific feeling state and what kind of issue it is. And then with the issue, or once you identify it, you have to sort of label the emotion. Is it kind of like depression, the anger, feeling lost, feeling like nothing's going on, like you're unlucky, it's just not happening, you're stuck, all those things, right? And then what kind of thoughts come with it? Like maybe if you're feeling lost, you're like, I don't know what to do in life. I'm stuck. I just I don't want anything. I don't like anything. And you're sort of really disconnected from everything. Or maybe you're in love. Or maybe you want to love someone but just have no one. And so you're like, okay, so nobody wants me. I'm not good enough. I'm just not attracting the right person. And no matter what I do, they sort of ignore me, reject me, and all this stuff. So you might have all these feelings. But the thing is, with the feeling, there's going to be a lot of thoughts. And if you find yourself thinking, sometimes you will go to bed at night and you'll start yourself catching when I was 5 years old, I say this phrase, and you're going to feel embarrassed out of the blue. Why in your life after 40, 50 years, you think about one moment in life and then you feel bad, guilty, and wrong and embarrassed about it. Sometimes it happens to people. So when you catch yourself with those feelings and emotions, now that you sort of have labeled the feeling, the emotion, what kind of thoughts come with it, sort of imagine taking this whole cluster, but after you labeled it, putting it right in front of you. And this whole cluster will go into a box. So you sort of imagine a box, and you just put this empty cluster in it, and you don't have to work or actually move or anything. Your thoughts, your visuals are enough. If you can visualize it, it's okay. You can use your thoughts. The thing is, you're a godlike being. You can do absolutely anything. So if I give you a few ways to do it, don't think it is the limit. Be creative. You can do it in a ball shape. So you just have to cut out a ball or a sphere, and whichever way you like, you can have it in a tube, whichever way feels the best for you, whichever way allows you to sort of use your creativity, feel comfortable, and feel damn, it's gonna work. So if you feel good with the square box, it's good. If you feel I just I would actually like a square or whatever, it's all good. So that being said, once you have labeled the entities, once you sort of caught maybe where it is within your body or your space, it can be behind you, it can be a cloud, it can be somewhere in the distance, but you sort of they are there and they're affecting me. So you sort of grab them, you use this kind of rope and sort of, come on. So you get them out, you put them in the box. Now that they're trapped in the box, you sort of put them from they were in your space, and from your space you put them right in front of you. And now that they're trapped in the box, you disconnect them from yourself. So they're trapped in the box, you could have the top and the bottom, so there's no way of escaping there. You could have the sides there and the sides like this, So once you disconnected them, we are usually using the galactic vacuum and sort of sending them to the galactic core for transmutation. That being all these beings that just got disconnected from you will be sent to the higher ups, to those that are let's say the good guys that are always there to help us, and they're not killing them or anything. They will help them to sort of get back to their original forms, to relearn things and get better and become more aware. So the beings we're going to send off, they're not going to be slaughtered or anything. They're going to be sort of oh, back to normal. You are consciousness, you are powerful, You don't have to mess with people because you're just a good being, and boom, they're gonna be basically sort of reprogrammed to their default neutral state, which is just to consciousness. So that being said, once you put the entities in the box, you disconnect them and sort of think about galactic vacuum, maybe imagine it, and just sort of like visualize them or think about it just going off and being sent out to the galactic vacuum for transmutation. And that being done, you can sort of like thank those beings for helping you out, and that is done, and you're free. So literally, the way it would look like, you can be laying in bed, you can be walking on a street, and maybe you're like, whatever you're doing, wherever you catch yourself doing, like you can do it on the go. You can literally sit on the pot, you can drive a car, wherever you're doing, it's okay. It's like very sort of like, I don't know, like a adjustable, adaptable technique where you can apply it anywhere at any time and point. So wherever you are, if you're feeling like, damn, you just got pissed off at your coworker, maybe your relatives pissed you off, maybe they say something, maybe you're at work and you're worrying like, what if the person I love doesn't love anymore? What if they are like this? And you have those worries, concerns. If it's just one thought, if it's just one worry, catch it, put it in a box, disconnect, send them off. So you literally can be driving a car and like, then what if I'm late? What if my boss is mad at me? What if I get like, like what if they fire me? And you get tons of these thoughts, worries, concerns, feelings. Just take it all, put it in the box, set it off after you disconnect it, and it's off. And so practice this technique. Every time you catch yourself having negative emotions, thinking bad, like, like everyone's ignoring me, no one loves me, there is no love in this world, I'm all alone, and it's like really just like this guilt trip and feeling bad, wrong, and like just like like you're sort of like dying inside. All of these emotions, like try to label the emotions, the thoughts, put them in a box, disconnect, send them off, and you're done. So that would be a technique, and hopefully that makes sense. But feel free to try it out and do it often. Every time you catch yourself having negative thought, feeling bad, just like try to locate it in your space, put it in the box, disconnect, send them off, and see what happens. Like do it a few times to actually notice the difference, and let me know what, like if you actually have any wins with it. So that being said, hopefully this technique will help you. Try it out, and I'm looking forward to hearing from any feedback. And you take care of yourself. Bye bye.